Morning everyone. So I often get asked how to prepare prior to competition. And here's the thing, there are no absolute rules around that. Different things work for different people. For example, a very common misconception is that you need to be really intensely focused when it really matters most at the biggest competitions. And perhaps people think that because they've seen the heroes doing that, etc. But be careful, different things work for different people. And I've seen plenty of athletes or sportsmen and women do their absolute best when they do the exact opposite of quiet, intense focus. More than anything, you have to become a student of yourself. You need to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. A good starting point for that is to think back to your past best and your past worst performances and really think about whether there's any pattern to how you prepared on the good day versus the bad days. And maybe you're even comparing training with competition, because maybe you're one of those people who typically perform better in training than you do in competition. That's fine. But wherever you have in the past performed best compared to where you haven't, compare them and try to get some idea of what is for you your best guess up until now of your best form of preparation before competition. I know people don't like that, but I would encourage you strongly to write it down. Commit this plan to a piece of paper. So for example, you like to arrive an hour before, and then you first greet people, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then you go to the loo, and then you have a drink, and then you stretch, and then whatever. Actually write it out like a plan. Once you've got that, that's just your first draft of the plan. Then experiment with it. Next competition, try it out. See what's working, what isn't, and fine tune. But just bearing in mind that there's no 100% perfect plan which ends up in your desired result every single time. So be careful of making wholesale changes because you didn't win on this occasion. The idea is that gradually over a period of time you fine tune and gradually get closer and closer to what works best for you. And just two last points about that. First of all, if you play a team sport, then obviously how you use your time prior to going out to play is not totally your own, because there are certain things which you do as a team. Maybe there's a team talk with a coach, or maybe you warm up as a team. So the stuff that works for you personally has to be fitted in between that, and there usually is more than enough time for that. Second consideration is that if you do a sport where you compete more than once on a given day, for example in karate there may be more than one bout on a particular day, or swimming, more than one event, or sailing, or in fact even sports like soccer, rugby or hockey, comparing the first half to the second half. Just bear in mind that the very first preparation of the day might be a little bit different from the next one or next ones. So you may in fact need two different types of preparation. The big one before the main start of the day, and then maybe a slightly shorter preparation for each next event after that. Bottom line, and the most important thing through all of this, is once you've figured out, once you've got a blueprint of generally this is what works best for me, then that's what you do every single time. There are so many cases in sport where people change what works for them because maybe it's a particularly important event, so they try to prepare even better. It's a basic mistake. Whatever works for you, that's what you do. The flip side also holds true. Sometimes people think, this isn't so important, so they don't do their normal preparation. And that's what leads to unnecessarily inconsistent performances or losing to teams that are perhaps weaker than you. I'll see you tomorrow.